everyone, this is Maki. The Gundams that appear in the SEED series have such classic and stylish designs, don't they? When the SEED series was developed, the popularity of the Gundam franchise was declining. To bring it back, the creators decided to use a typical but cool Gundam design and the combination of elements that had been popular in past Gundam series. Do you have a favorite Gundam? For me, I especially like the Buster Gundam. This time, let's take a look at some comments from Mr. Keiichiro Kotogiri, who was involved in the design of the GATX series, as well as the design concept behind the Buster Gundam. Mr. Kotogiri is also known for the design of the Gundam Unit 6 map drop, which appears in the Universal Century timeline. Before we dive into the discussion, there's one thing to keep in mind. The content we are going to discuss today is based on what Mr. Kotogiri considered during the design phase. It's unclear to what extent these ideas were officially incorporated into the series. So let's explore what makes Buster Gundam so fascinating. This is the Buster Gundam concept as presented by Mr. Kotogiri. First, let's take a look at its shape with the frame containing the necessary propulsion components. The Buster Gundam is a mobile suit designed with the assumption that it will use special heavy firearms. For this reason, the areas where the weapons are mounted and the areas that absorb the recoil are made extremely sturdy. In the SEED series, the Gundams use a technology called phase shift armor. This is a powerful technology that can cancel the effect of metallic projectiles that are not beam-based weapons. Some fans may have wondered if the Buster Gundam has phase shift armor. Why does it have thicker armor and a bulkier frame than other Gundams? Mr. Kotogiri gave an answer. The reason Buster Gundam is larger than other Gundams is that its internal structure has been reinforced to ensure stable operation of its weapons. Let's take a closer look at the shoulders. The shoulders were designed with the premise of mounting missile launchers. A cavity in the inner frame allowed up to 6 missiles to be stored. Since missiles are longer and slimmer than small projectiles, they require a lot of storage space. For this reason, a compartment for the missiles is located above the shoulder joints. The concept of attaching optional parts to the shoulders is similar to that of the Strike Gundam. It's fascinating that the Buster Gundam, which was designed earlier than the Strike Gundam, already had a structure for mounting weapons on its shoulders. This shoulder design is a subtle expression of the sibling relationship between the Strike Gundam and the Buster Gundam. Next, let's take a look at the chest. Just like the Strike Gundam, the inner frame of the Buster Gundam is equipped with intakes for air intake and radiators for cooling. However, once the armor is attached, these components are housed inside the armor. This design choice highlights the difference between the Buster Gundam and other Gundams that actively engage in close combat. Since the Buster Gundam is primarily designed for long-range support and generates less heat than other Gundams, its cooling components are protected under its armor. In other words, the way Diaka piloted the Buster Gundam, actively pushing forward into the front lines, was actually an unintended use of the mobile suit from the perspective of its designers. Nevertheless, the fact that the Buster Gundam continued to perform well until it was finally destroyed by the Providence Gundam is a testament to Diaka's exceptional piloting skills. Now for the arms and legs. These components share the same design as the Juro Gundam and Strike Gundam. Standardizing the design improves production efficiency. From a military point of view, having interchangeable parts that can be used for repairs or taken from other Gundams makes for a highly effective design. Now let's take a look at the frame at the hip, where the main weapons of the Buster Gundam are mounted. This is where the beam cannons and gun launchers are mounted. Since these weapons are quite heavy, a thick and sturdy frame is used. To prevent the weight of the weapons from making the shooting position unstable, the frame is designed to move only in the horizontal direction. In the GAT-X series, some models such as the Aegis Gundam have extremely complex structures. Some fans might ask if they had the technology to create complex transformation mechanisms. Why doesn't the hip frame of the Buster Gundam move up and down? The answer is simple. The goal was to maintain shooting stability. Also, because mobile suits are humanoid, they can adjust their body direction much faster than aircraft or tanks. When vertical angle adjustments are needed, it's more efficient to move the whole body than to rely on extra joints. The joints at the base of the legs are also designed for simplicity. They consist of a single thick axle, ensuring a robust structure. By using simple joints rather than complex ones, the design increases durability while improving the efficiency of maintenance and assembly. And underneath there's a holder for spare batteries. Even in the official setting, it is stated that the knee components are spare batteries. The design of these batteries is quite interesting. Of course, this battery design is something that Mr. Kotagiri originally had in mind. What's fascinating is how much it resembles real-world batteries. Since this is a fictional world, they could have chosen to equip it with batteries that look completely different from anything in the real world. But with this design, even someone seeing it for the first time might think, hang on, could that be a battery? The legs can also be used to mount additional components. Mr. Kotagiri originally designed this area with the idea of attaching additional missile parts. The design is reminiscent of the leg-mounted missiles used by the Dokuin First Gundam, and the leg design is shared throughout the GAT-X series. If the Buster Gundam hadn't been stolen by Zaft and had continued to operate alongside the Strike Gundam, we might even have seen the Dual Gundam, or Strike Gundam equipped with leg-mounted missiles. For those who are good at customizing gunplate, creating a leg-mounted missile pod could be a fun project to try out. And at the front of the legs you'll find a component called an actuator. This is a part that converts energy into physical movement. Since the Buster Gundam carries heavy armaments, it needs extremely thick and durable actuators to support and move its weight. Let's take a look at the feet. The design is incredibly simple, with no precision machinery built into them. When landing from a high altitude with a heavy load, the feet experience an immense amount of impact energy. If delicate components were installed in this area, they would probably break from the shock. For this reason, the feet are designed with a simple structure that focuses solely on withstanding impact without any unnecessary fine components. Finally, let's talk about the typical artillery stance of the Buster Gundam. In space, it is crucial to properly adjust the recoil of its cannons and maintain balance. If this adjustment fails, the force of the explosion could cause the mobile suit to spin uncontrollably, making it impossible to fire accurately. A possible solution would be to use thrusters to counteract the spin, but this would increase fuel consumption. In order to minimize fuel consumption while ensuring accurate shooting, the Buster Gundam was designed to carry its weapons at the waist rather than over the shoulders. And that concludes the design concept of the Buster Gundam based on Mr. Kotagiri's comments. Seed Freedom introduces the Lightning Buster Gundam, a modified version of the Buster Gundam. The Lightning Buster can switch between two artillery stances, one in which the large beam cannon is mounted on its shoulders, and another in which it is held at waist level. When connected to the meteor unit, the beam cannon is carried over the shoulders. When operating without the meteor unit, the beam cannon is held at waist level. Looking at Mr. Kotagiri's comments, we can see that there are clear reasons behind each of these configurations. By mounting the beam cannon on the shoulders, the Lightning Buster was interfering with the meteor's components, while at the same time using the meteor's propulsion to handle the recoil. In scenes where the Lightning Buster performs a full burst attack, we can see the meteor's thrusters in action. On the other hand, when the Lightning Buster fires a full burst on its own, it does not use its thrusters. This highlights the Yaku's ability to adjust the use of thrusters depending on the suit's equipment and the combat situation. Noticing small details like this can lead to exciting new discoveries. It can also be a great reference when customizing GunPro deciding on a pose for display. Thank you for watching until the end. See you next time on the show.